Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place, well, rather interestingly enough, in one of the more popular locations of Dublin City when it comes to the paranormal, the extraordinary, and the strange. Wynn's Hotel is located just in the beating heart of the city centre, an old Victorian building that's been tastefully remodeled, reorganised, and made into one of the premier and most luxurious hotels the city can boast its offering. With this in mind, Francis, you have been instructed that your presence is requested. Requested being underlined, as a matter of fact, to appear at 11 o'clock sharp in order to take tea with Madame Guille and her visiting dignitaries. It is intimated rather heavily that you should not be late.
Oh no, Francis. Francis, as much as he does love to do the Toreador thing of being fashionably late, if a Justica says he should be on time, he's going to be very, very on time.
Wonderful. You walk down a long corridor towards the main ballroom of the hotel. The carpet is soft under your feet, almost plush. The large white double doors stand closed, and there's a single individual waiting outside who presses on his ear and mumbles something before he will nod and open the doorway for you.
Francis kind of gives him a nod of acknowledgement, and will simply go to where he is instructed to go. If that is not clear, he will simply ask the individual mumbling into what he presumes to be a mic.
As you enter into the ballroom proper, you will see that there is a single large high-backed chair that has been set up at one end of the room facing you. You have to cross the entire ballroom to get there, your feet echoing on the hard wood floor. It's that rather odd, ominous echo that seems to reverberate around the room several times. Everyone in the room, apart from the figure seated, is standing perfectly still, almost block still. There is pleasant music being played from a harp that is located off to the left-hand side. The harpist himself is a rather attractive young man, you would say his early 20s. Everyone in the room looks up at you as they hear the echoing of your footsteps intermingling with the music, the rather cacophonous sound intermingling with the soft, smooth notes. The seated figure looks up from her musings. For some reason, and this is what immediately strikes Francis's vaguely unpleasant, she has a naked sword in her hand, a very thin sword, and she's ever so softly tapping her fingernails against it. No one in the room says anything.
Well, Francis, he presumably stands before Madame Guille. I'll probably take the knee, as it were, out of respect. And is she looking at him, by the way?
No, she's kind of looking off to the side.
If she's that's interesting. Okay. Does the music look set to continue playing? Francis is just trying to get an idea of whether he's expected to engage or if she's...
The
expected
The music
to
doesn't stop
engage.
playing.
Okay.
The music continues to play.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. In which case, Francis will simply take the knee before the Justicar and say, "My Justicar, I believe you called for me."
What language do you address her in?
Dude, I'm gonna address her in French because we're Toreador and she's Madame Gill.
You interrupt my delightful playing, Mr. Belmont. Why?
My apologies. I just heard that my presence was requested and wished to make myself known to you.
I have eyes, Mr. Belmont. Do you assume that I cannot see when it is you are kneeling in front of me?
In which case, I apologize for any undue offense I may have caused to my Justicar.
I assure you, Mr. Belmont, if offence had been caused, then we would not be having this rather pleasant conversation. Do you not agree?
I'm very much in agreement.
So, I'm curious, do you drink tea?
I do. It's a rather enjoyable pastime.
You see a gentleman step forward with a cup of tea, or what appears to be tea, and he simply hands it to you. You've been given no information to stand, but he will hand you a cup of tea.
I'll take the tea.
So, you've come to vex me greatly, Mr. Belmont.
Well, Francis takes a moment. As she asks that, he actually very gently sips from his tea, just to give him the time required to formulate a statement that Francis and cough. That would not be considered hilariously rude or otherwise a death sentence.
By the way, Francis, that delicious 1-point blood bond.
No. How about fuck? God damn it, Evan, why do you do this to me?
Because, I mean, if it helps, this might be as the link forms. This might be an intimation to you. Would she kill something that she had taken the efforts or the liberties needed in order to make her own?
I mean, it might be, if she decides to make an asset out of me,
She's still determined. You can pee an ear if you'd like.
I'm probably well considering I am sipping from my tea as Francis tries to formulate a statement, so I'll just do that.
Are you turning on all specs? Important question.
Oh, in which case, absolutely not, because I'm not even going to risk that possibility. Fortunately, I get 4 successes. without the
I have to find out. Holy shit, that's her manipulation. Oh shit, okay.
Oh yeah, no, she's not necessarily good at sussing through the lies. She's just really good at her herself. I mean, she's good at sussing through lies by just torturing it out of her victims, but there you go.
Wowzers.
Wow, I actually win. Well, she has a specialty, I assume.
No, she doesn't. Huh.
Wow, I win.
I know, right? She is pleasantly amused at the moment.
Okay. As he sips from the tea, he almost immediately discerns the blood within the tea, not only because of the impact it has on his psyche, but because masking blood within tea isn't always particularly simple.
No. I should point out. That's interesting. It's not the fact that tea has been mixed with the blood. It's the fact that the blood looks like, smells like, and for all other purposes is tea.
Oh, interesting. Oh, we're doing that, are we? Okay. As I say, why do you do this to me? But yeah, Francis, he sips from his tea. Okay, so it feels the effect over his psyche. That might be actually slightly surprising, but does it taste like tea? And it tastes lovely. And he, as he comes out of sipping his tea, he will just say, "If I may ask, in what manner of speaking?"
You lied to me, Mr. Belmont. Though, before we discuss matters of realpolitik, I have a query for you.
By all means.
Do you dance?
Francis, he's pleasantly amused because he has no performance.
Do you have athletics?
He does have athletics. He has athletics. I believe I spent on it this month. He has athletics 2.
She offers her hand standing up.
He will silently take it.
As you step out onto the into the center of the floor, more musical instruments are produced from the various different members standing around the room itself, and they start to play. They start to play a slow waltz. I assume you're going to let her lead, despite the fact she's shorter than you are.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. I'm going to tell you this right now, Francis. Based on how you dance is going to be if she kills you or not.
Are you kidding me?
100% serious.
Okay. Well,
because let's be honest, that is entirely something you could picture Madame Gilles doing.
Yeah. I guess I'm spending blood index and spending willpower.
Okay, so roll me your dexterity plus your athletics because it's not performance. I'll let you use the dice, but it's going to be at a plus. It's going to be because you're not using the relevant skill, and but you are getting more dice. So it's going to be difficulty 8.
Oh god.
I'll roll
Well,
hers.
it may be better if I just use performance then, because if I use performance, it's just a +1 diff.
Yeah, but you don't have the relevant performance skill, so you wouldn't even get the dice for it.
All right. Oh bugger, that's bad.
Do you want to roll to have blood in your system before you do this?
Yeah, let's do that. I actually have a specialty for what I'm doing, so it is actually 4 blood instead of 2, which is actually fortunate. So yeah. Spending blood into Dex, that doesn't put me to hunger, so unless I have to do something else this scene, he'll be fine. And
Remember,
yes.
you also get to add your celerity to this.
Yes, but I don't believe I spend blood for that.
Not for the extra rounds, but you still get to add it as a passive bonus.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I should just get a passive bonus automatically. So that's 5 plus. Ooh.
That was her roll.
So it's 5 plus 7 plus 2. Spending willpower. Oh, I get force. I even her with the willpower. With the willpower, I managed to even her out. If it wasn't for the willpower, I'd get less successes.
She smiles as she leans up and strokes your face, and she leans in and she whispers, "Now something a little bit more robust." At which point the band starts to pick up into a lively waltz, and we're going to roll again. This time it's going to be a +1 diff for you.
Oh no. I'm going to have to spend more willpower. Guess who's burning for all that willpower this scene? Bitch. Oh wow, I beat her.
She stops. She blinks as the. I was going to say, did you ever contemplate what would happen if you beat her?
I'm like, oh no! But she's leading, so it doesn't matter.
She stops and she says, "And now we shall see what you're really made of." She leans in and she kisses your cheek. And now we're going to roll again. For you, it will be difficulty 10.
I'm a dead man. Dead man walking. It's like the living dead in here. To quote a recent politician. Spending the willpower, and of course she gets 4 successes on this roll. Probably more, because she has a 10. Well, it's a good thing I spent the willpower. Because I got no 10s and 5 1s. Okay. But I get the 1 success.
You, about halfway through the song, will trip rather melodramatically.
Oh.
Would you like to play up the fall, or would you simply like to fall?
I'll play it up. Fuck it. Let's go.
Alright, so how do you play it up?
How do I play it up?
Bear in mind, at this point, you're both dancing with roughly celerity 5, so you guys are literally spinning around like whirligig style.
Yeah. See, I'm still gonna fall, so I'm not gonna land on my feet. Actually, that is important to know because I assume I can't look competent doing this as I'm going to trip rather melodramatically. So I'm not going to land on my feet, I can only presume, and you're muted, Evan. So I presume that is a prerequisite. I do not land on my feet regardless of the outcome.
No.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, in which case, because they're just kind of, they're more like effectively a very pretty pair of windmills right now. As he trips, he'll go. Probably wind up spinning. It's probably spinning a fair distance through the air, particularly since Madame Gil probably feels significantly stronger than him.
She does have a pretty decent amount of potency and strength, so yes.
And yeah, and I have none. And even with the strength, I have well, full strength, but it's not enough. So, he'll probably go for momentum. Probably end up spinning through the air in a rather over dramatic fashion. And probably end up falling flat on his back and sliding across the floor, and kind of ends in a sort of arms and legs spread in a fairly kind of almost like a star shape, rather amusing for anyone watching. Really, it's he looks a little bit silly.
Once again, of course, because Madame Gilles appears to have the appearance of a 16-year-old girl, which is somewhat disconcerting.
Yeah.
She smiles. You can see her elongated fangs. She smiles, but she leans down and she strokes your cheek on the ground, and she will say, "Oh, poor little Rose, so easy to find the thorns. So, you may now tell me what it is you wish to tell me."
Francis, there is like a brief moment where he looks up towards the ceiling. What he almost reminisces, where it's like, yeah, not exactly the first time I've been in this position. What a wonderful metaphor. And he'll sit up and then stand up. He doesn't like leap to his feet. And he just flexes his neck a little bit. The truth. Needless to say, you are very correct when you claim I lied to you. I found something. Was not what I was expecting, but it made sense in hindsight. When I visited that house I spoke of in the Prince's Domain, there was a laptop waiting for me. With a video call from the perpetrator of the one who attempted to assassinate your Archon and your child. They initially concealed themselves from me and offered me a significant amount of information on the anarchs of the city, funnily enough, and who might have been pulling the Baron's strings, but I turned them down because why on earth would I deal with an unknown? They revealed themselves over the video call to be just a Carly synth.
There's a kind of a series of fans fluttering. Basically, you can hear a murmur go through the assembled peoples in the room. Jill herself doesn't say anything. She's kind of waiting for you to continue.
Of course, it could have been a flesh-crafted imposter, but they stated they had been investigating abuses of power within the upper echelons of the Camarilla, and actually I do want to be sure of this because I don't want to say anything that's even inadvertently not explicit.
Okay.
So please tell me if what I'm saying is incorrect. Out of character. She was they were investigating abuses of power and had singled out your Archon as one of those individuals, and that they were the one who planted the car bomb outside of the Elysium when the initial assassination took place, or rather the team they hired to do so did. And when I took part of that explosion for the Archon, that I had, and I quote, kiboshed it.
I see.
She also had an Assamite hired who had already staked one of the Nosferatu that had aided me into getting into this place to begin with, and I had them ready to destroy me had I not stated I would conspire to murder your Archon along with her.
She smiles down at you.
You mean up at me, considering how she's shorter than me, but yeah, down at me I think feels very apt for this person. And after that, the recording was halted, and the Assamite appeared before me.
So what you're saying to me is you were willing to conspire with the Justicar of another clan, even in jest, lies, mistruths, and misleading comments, rather than martyring yourself for clan forehead.
That is part of the reason I'm here. It is not something I should have even stated to begin with, even if it were in jest.
She opens her arms very wide to you, like as in to embrace you. She kind of beckons you to come forward. Come here, my dear.
You know, I'm always tempted to have Francis make that groan, but he won't. He'll do it. He'll do it.
She leans up. I assume you lean down to her. Because she's shorter than you are.
Yeah.
And she embraces you. You feel her hand on the back of your head as she holds you very, very close, intimately almost, and she says, "The lost sheep returns to the shepherd. I forgive you." I forgive your transgressions. The clan may require penance. You understand, I'm sure.
Of course. Too kind for. Forgive me, I know I have committed a wrong against you and my clan. It will not happen again.
No, it will not. She draws a very long, slender knife from her belt. And she very gently uses it to pop, 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 open the buttons on Francis's shirt. I assume you're wearing a shirt.
Yes.
Do you still have you had your Auspex on a little while ago? Do you still have it on, or do you not?
No, I don't. I didn't put it on for that. I didn't want to use it in this court, and because I mean, it's because if I do get caught, I am dead, even if it's highly unlikely that I do. As she does this, Francis will actually say something. There is something else.
Oui.
Are you familiar with the Obsidian Lantern?
There's a kind of a hiss from under her lips. Why is it you speak of that inane creature?
He showed up within my domain after our phone call. He granted me a prophecy that states that a member among the Justicards is compromised by the Red Lister.
And you thought it was me?
At the time, I believed it to be either you or just Carly sent, but I know it's not you.
The Obsidian Lantern speaks his prophecies when he will. He oftentimes is insightful, but I would not take his words as gospel. By the way, at this point, her knife doesn't plunge into you, but she starts cutting into your skin, and she starts to etch something into it.
Ooh, what does she etch into it?
It'll take her a handful of seconds to get it done, but eventually, what you will see is she will write the word perdu on your chest in very elegant, very elegant word, very elegant letters. Perdu is the French word for lost.
Huh.
That, Francis, that wound will not heal.
No. Is it damage or is it more like a brand?
It's more like a brand.
Okay. Because I know the floor, and that floor sucks so much.
What permanent wound?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yes, it really does.
Uh,
And then, just to be a bitch, she outlines it underneath with a line. You know, one of those kind of.
mm, mm.
You will continue to do as you have done, Mr. Belmont. You'll notice she collects the blood in a small vial.
Oh, that bitch.
You'd almost swear she had dots and thaumaturgy or something.
Yeah, it's almost as if she can. Oh, that bitch. Well,
She just. You will continue your activities here in Dublin. You will be my liaison here. Yes, my darling Francis.
well, of course, I'd like nothing more. Actually, no, he said, well, of course, I'd love nothing more.
Oui, of this I have no doubt. Should Lucinda attempt to create issue for you, then I shall do what is within my power to smooth the way. But I am concerned. I will want an updated report when it is you understand if what the Obsidian Lantern said was indeed the case. Is my honored colleague indeed, well, under the influence of an infernalist? I'm sure you understand.
Hmm. That is what I wish to discover. He's already compromised several other figures in the city. And appears to have taken. Oh. Actually, I need to be up here real quick. I'll be right back. My apologies. Sorry about that.
It's all okay.
Francis will just say, Francis will just kind of continues saying, it has already compromised several individuals in the city, as well as taking a very specific interest in me.
I wonder why that is.
I do too. I intend to find out.
I will be remaining in this fetid city for at least another week. So, if you should require anything more, you have only to ask.
And I am eternally grateful.
Of this I have no doubt. You may leave me, Francis.
Majestica, he will bow and will take his leave.
And with that, with his chest wound still oozing ever so slightly, we shall end our scene. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.